We're almost 20 installments deep into Nintendo's Legend of Zelda series, not counting those terrible CDI games.
It's awful! Mayor Cavendish has been chained in the tower! Oh my cakes!
And we're still going strong. Breath of the Wild brought in advanced buzz by the hard container-fall, and when fans finally played for themselves, they noted its balance between originality and honoring the overall Zelda theme. But what some players likely haven't yet noticed are the exciting connections to Zelda's legacy sprinkled throughout the game. Does Dodongo still dislike smoke? Are empty jars still a weirdly rare commodity in Hyrule? Will we ever figure out what the deal is with this guy? Here's a look at a few small details in Breath of the Wild only true fans noticed. Location, location, location. Since its initial release over 30 years ago, The Legend of Zelda has been all about the lush landscapes, and amongst those grassy knolls and spooky caves are a few structures that stand out. Easily one of the most recognizable is Spectacle Rock, which first appeared in the original 1986 release, and has cropped up in later installments as well. The Double Mountain appears again in Breath of the Wild, where it can be seen in wide-angled shots from above, but this time the famous formation appears on a much larger scale. You might also recognize Ranch Ruins as Lon Lon Ranch from Ocarina of Time, and fans will probably get chills when they run into the Temple of Time again. Breath of the Wild calls back to those games that came before it with a slew of other place names as well. Sure, they've shifted around a bit since the 8-bit days, but the names remain the same. Even still, the definitive Zelda guide, Hyrule Historia, has told us that this series splits off into multiple timelines, making everything even more confusing. Tingle Island is a riff on the flamboyant Vanessa Tingle, who appears throughout the series. Torombo Beach appeared in a slightly different form in Link's Awakening, and Koholint Rock is a clear reference to Koholint Island from the same game. Mido Swamp grabs its title from an obnoxious character in Ocarina of Time, and even more Breath of the Wild locations are straight out of the Adventures of Link. Raru Hillside, Ruto Lake, and Saria among them, all of whom were also revealed as characters in Ocarina of Time. And Linebeck Island takes its name from the cowardly captain in the Phantom Hourglass. The Secret Language. An element of Breath of the Wild that has left players scratching their heads is a mysterious Sheikah language used on various items, signs, and descriptions throughout the game. While Nintendo could have just given us a lot of convincing gibberish, like some kind of Sigaros song, these things actually spell out words. It's not hard to find a translation key online, and players have utilized it to decipher hidden messages. Most interestingly, one winding bit of text that appears on the Master Edition boxed version of Breath of the Wild reads, "The Hyrule Fantasy," in reverse. True fans know that's the Japanese subtitle for the original Legend of Zelda. The cool references don't even stay within the world of Hyrule, however. When installing new abilities to Link's Sheikah Slate in Breath of the Wild, Sheikah text scrolls down the screen. Some phrases can be translated as "now loading" and "do not turn off your slate," but a hilarious Easter egg can be found in the sentence that reads "all your base are." This, of course, is a reference to the meme-worthy English version of Zero Wing, which abysmally translated the game's original Japanese into the jumbled-up phrase, "all your base are belong to us." And well, just in case you've forgotten, this eventually happened.
All your base, all your base, belong to us.
Thanks, Internet. Oman Au. The monks of Breath of the Wild have some unique names, but one sticks out. Oman Au. Oman Au is an anagram for Aonuma, and it just so happens that Eiji Aonuma has been working on Zelda games since Ocarina of Time. He's currently the series producer and manager of the entire franchise, so it's a small way to immortalize a guy who's already a bit of a legend. The Old Man. One thing that isn't new in Breath of the Wild is the Old Man, who's clearly a reference to that other old dude seen in the original Zelda, who gives Link his first sword, and some ominous advice. The cryptic character shows up again in Breath of the Wild, again with a fire and again in a small cave. Of course, it could be a simple coincidence. Weird old men love caves after all. But then, Nintendo stacked another juicy Easter egg in there. The Sheikah letters pouring out of light beacons you can place hold a hidden message that links players all the way back to the original Zelda. The secret words? It's dangerous to go alone. Just look at the flowers. If we're talking literal parallels to older Zelda games, it doesn't get more literal than this. When viewing the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild, shown on its pedestal in the game's official E3 trailer, check out the flowers. Now, compare it to where you find the Master Sword in A Link to the Past. Sure, it's just 3 well-arranged flowers, but it's a fairly clear-cut nod to the franchise's history. Whether or not it means something significant is for forum nerd arguments and YouTube commenters to decide. And speaking of the sword, Link's weapon-grabbing experience in Breath of the Wild shares a lot of similarities to his journey in A Link to the Past. You'd think you'd be able to tell a magical sword from a piece of junk by now, but no, maybe he knows a guy who can tell the difference. In Breath of the Wild, gamers can grab what appears to be the Master Sword fairly early on in the game, where it sits perched on a tall rock formation. In truth, it's a rusty buzzkill broadsword. That'll break shortly after you use it a couple of times. In A Link to the Past, Link also believes he stumbled upon the actual Master Sword in the Lost Woods, which is weirdly filled with tons of dummy swords. Link thinks he's found the for-real blade when he pulls it from the ground, but it all falls to pieces when it's revealed that it's a total dupe. Next time, just look for the one that literally shoots lasers, man. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.